Hi there and welcome to another video tutorial by Nitro, and in this video series I'm going to be talking to you today about how and the different things to do with your Nitro RC vehicle's engine. Many people get confused as beginners about their Nitro engine and how things work and what parts things are. In this video series, this is part 1, we're going to be looking at components. Part 2, we will be looking at assembly, and part 3, we will be looking at the maintenance side of things. Go check out the other parts, and I hope you will find this series. So the first thing is, whatever Nitro vehicle you have, it always has an engine that runs on Nitro. Whatever type of vehicle. You can see, one is in there as well. The one we're going to be looking at today is a Vertex .18. So that is the first thing, the sizes. You can buy Nitro engines in 0.5, 0.6, 0.8, 0.10, 0.12, 0.15, 0.16, 0.18, 0.21, 0.28, 0.32, 0.36, 0.42. You can buy loads and loads of different sizes engines. Now, usually, depending on the size of the car, depends on the size of the engine. In 1/10 scale cars, 90% of the time you get 12 to the 18 engines, and in the 1/8 scale vehicles, you normally get the 0.21 to 0.32 engines. So today we are going to be looking at, this is part 1, we're going to be looking at different parts of your Nitro engine. And, yes, now basically most parts are the same or the same layout. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is the top of the vehicle and the different parts of the engine. The bird's eye view. You can see here is our engine. First thing is this large purple area. This is known as the Nitro engine heatsink. This has the cooling fins on, which enables your Nitro engine to be air-cooled. Inside of the heatsink, you have the glow plug. This, when clamped onto your igniter, ignites the fuel, allowing your engine to start. This is your air filter. This has oil on it to trap any fine dirt particles from entering the carburetor. This is your carburetor. This here is your high-speed needle tuning screw. On the inside of this barrel here, this is your low-speed needle tuning screw. This needle here is your idle speed screw. For the high speed needle tuning screw and the low speed needle tuning screw, closing it clockwise means leaning the fuel out. Opening it counterclockwise means richening the mixture out. For the idle speed screw, closing it, tightening it, means that the idle will be higher. Opening it, counterclockwise turning it, will mean that the idle will be lower. Here we have the exhaust manifold. This part gets very hot when running. Please be careful, do not touch this part until at least 10 minutes has gone by after you've stopped your Nitro engine. This part here is called the exhaust cupola. This is basically a rubber fixer that attaches your manifold to your exhaust. And this is your exhaust. On the inside of the exhaust we have one tube coming out, which goes to the fuel tank here. This is known as your back pressure tube. Coming out of the other side of the fuel tank we have this tube here. This one is known as the fueling tube. On the rear of your engine we have a pull start. This is a pull start system engine. You can also buy Nitro engines that have drill start mechanisms installed. This is your pull start handle. This part here, all of this part here is known as the Nitro engine crankshaft and crankcase. Joint onto here we have your mini flywheel hidden behind here, and on here we have your main, your big flywheel. This is your bell gear. This is the part that spins the main gear, causing your four-wheel drive system to work properly. This here is your carb linkage. Upon opening the servo, this allows more fuel in, therefore your car accelerates. Upon braking or closing the servo, this stops fuel going in and therefore causing your car to slow down. Now you have looked at the outside appearance of your engine. Now we will have a look at the inside. There is your outside appearance of the engine. Here is our inside of the engine. This is a VX18 crankcase. You can see this part here is the mini flywheel as shown previously. This part pulls off, and underneath here you can see here is our crankshaft. Here around the side of the crankshaft opening we have the crankshaft bearings. Here is where your carburetor sits on. You can see the carb is this part here. This is where your carb bolts on. Here are the engine mount screws. These two holes here are the ones for the exhaust manifold, and here is your backing plate. This is where the pull starter is usually installed. So you can see a pull start is normally here. On removing the pull start, it reveals our backing plate or our back plate. These 4 screws are here to secure on the back plate. These must always be kept very, very tight in order to prevent any leakage. On removing the backing plate, this is your back plate here. If we remove this part, this part here is, I always call it the crankshaft turner. That is because the small slot there simply slots onto here. You can see we have that small space given there that slides onto there and turns the crankshaft. So as it's in the crankcase, this part turns as you pull on the pull start, therefore turning the crankshaft. You can see that slots in there just like that, turning it. I hope in this part 1 of the video you have been successful in learning the internal and the external parts of your Nitro engine. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me gt12rthelp@airworld.co.uk or add me to your Facebook as well. That is Josh Thornley at rocketmail.com, or just search jthornley12 on Facebook. Thank you very much. More videos coming, and do not forget to check out the next part of the series, which is the carburetor settings. Thank you very much, and more videos are coming very, very soon.